Hi and hello, welcome to the new video, and today I will be explaining the lore of a fan-made game called Five Nights at Candy's. And yes, just before we start, I know this is a bit late, but thank you all for the 1000 subscribers. It really helps out a lot. And again, thank you for that. Anyway, moving on to the video. As I said, this will not be about FNAF. This will be about a FNAF fan game also known as Five Nights at Candy's. Also, this will be the lore of Candy's. So let's begin. Pretty much like always, we first begin way back to early 1960 to 1961. This is where the Rat and Cat Theatre location takes place. A place that would only last for 2 years before it closed in 1962. This is because of an accident that I will explain later on when talking about this location. So yes, there are at least 2 problems that do happen during the location's opening. We will first talk about the first accident that happened. This was on a day where a girl named Mary takes her brother to the Rat and Cat Theatre. Upon watching the animatronics sing and dance, Mary's brother gets too close to the Rat animatronic and the Rat animatronic hits him on the head, making Mary's brother unconscious. We are not sure if her brother survived the hit on the head, but we do know that this was an issue at the time of the opening. Upon a year later, another accident does occur at this location. And this accident traumatized Mary for life. So let me explain. The Rat and Cat mascots were going to play hide and seek with all the kids. Upon this, Mary decides to hide in the employee room also. I'm not sure, but this might be parts and service. Anyway, she hides in a closet in that same room. And after that, the Rat goes into that room to seek for the kids playing the game. After this, the puppeteer mascot comes into the room. The Rat gets into a fight with the puppeteer mascot and the two tackle each other to the ground. The puppeteer then pushes the Rat mascot and the Rat mascot hits his head on the table, becoming unconscious, and then begins to bleed out, killing the Rat mascot. After this, the Cat mascot comes in and starts to begin calling the cops, but the puppeteer mascot hates the fact that he's doing this, so he chopped the Cat mascot out, killing him too. While all this was happening, Mary was still in that closet watching the whole incident. Until the puppeteer mascot came out of that room, and then we see the police at the location. Possibly shutting down the location for good after finding out what happened. Mary then goes back home. After this, Mary starts to have nightmares and visions of nightmare versions of the Rat and Cat and even the puppeteer. She can't stop seeing them, that eventually she has to go through therapy to get rid of the nightmares and visions of what happened that day. After this is when the events of Five Nights at Candy's 3 takes place, where Mary has to fight off the nightmarish visions of the Rat and Cat. And eventually the puppeteer as well. Upon completing Five Nights at Candy's 3, we are told that Mary has gotten through the nightmarish visions and nightmares, but she still remembers what happened that day the incident occurred. After all of this, 20 years later, Mary is all grown up now. We then can tell that Mary must have seen in a newspaper that a new family-friendly restaurant is looking for a security guard. I'm pretty sure we all know what restaurant this is. And yes, indeed, it is the first location of Candy's Burgers and Fries, which is a restaurant competing with the FNAF 2 pizzeria. Upon the FNAF 2 pizzeria closing, Candy's gets more popular. This is when Candy's 1 takes place at the Candy's 1 location. This location was only open for a few months before it closed, due to the animatronics Candy and Cindy being glitched and possessed by children due to the Rat. Which I will explain why the Rat was the cause of the closure of the location. So yes, the Rat was the cause because during the making of Candy and Cindy, he sabotaged the factory when making the animatronics. Instead of putting metal and robotic parts, he put children into the machine, making the machine malfunction. This is how the children possessed the animatronics. So after playing through the game and completing all 6 nights, Mary gets fired due to the odor of the animatronics, blaming it on her for the smell. We're not sure, but we do know that the old Candy animatronic along with Blank were at that same location. But it's probably seen that the old Candy animatronic was put up for storage like the Rat animatronic. And Blank was meant as a secondary character. So how did this location close, you might ask? Well, after Mary was fired, another security guard was at that location. Upon this, the night guard only lasted one night before the rat killed him. The new Candy animatronic was walking around the restaurant. Upon coming upon the night guard, the police were already at the location to arrest whoever did this. But since all they saw was the Candy animatronic, they began to zap the animatronic. After that, he malfunctioned and turned off. This was the end of Candy's Burgers and Fries. After this, it seems they put all the animatronics to scrap and rot in the old abandoned factory. Which fast forward 8 years later, and Mary has a daughter who is 17 years old. She lost a bet with her friends, which is why she has to spend 6 nights in the factory not knowing about the animatronics. The now withered animatronics tried to haunt her throughout her nights there, and the only way to get them to leave her alone is using telephone noises to alert the animatronics somewhere else. The factory in the end burns down and she doesn't make it out. Her and the animatronics are burned in the factory due to an animatronic setting the factory on fire, possibly the cat. Wow, that was a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to make that red button that says subscribe on it gray and with notifications on, so you don't miss another FNAF or FNAC video.